if you can hear me, in your opinion, do you think the electorates have any role to play?
Yeah, the electorate certainly has a role to play. Because as the moral compass of Nigerians, as the representative of Nigerians, you will not want to see your own representative being blown or being engaged in physical combat on the floor of the house. What will he tell his constituents? What will he tell his wife and children at home? There are certain things. The president of this country today is carrying a body because President Muhammad Buhari today is the moral compass of the integrity of this country. So when you talk about anti-corruption, he sits at the apex. And because of that, everybody watch whatever he does. The same thing at the legislative level. Once you are a legislator, there are certain things you cannot be seen to be doing. So the public has a role to play. The public must not encourage it. If you see your legislator engaged in physical combat, you should not refer to them as honorable anymore. You should not refer to them as distinguished senator anymore. By the time we start doing that, I think some of them will sit back and say, no, what I'm going to do now is wrong. They have a coolant. They have an executive section. If they want to box themselves, they can do that off camera. But at the moment they come out, they should not be seen to be boxing.
Thank you so much.
What are you boxing for?
Thank you so much. That's really the much we can take at this time. Thank you. Sorry to cut you short. So we've been talking to the former federal lawmaker, Honorable Solomon Edoja, from our Abuja studios there, and we keep an eye on things in Uganda. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, the decision to ban semi-biometric passports has sparked wide-range criticisms, with many saying they were not given sufficient time to prepare for new passports. Well, even though this is near the bottom now of the Human Development Index of the United Nations, the new passports introduced are set to be among the most expensive in the world.
A sudden decision forcing all Congolese nationals to travel on biometric passports from next month has provoked a backlash from lawmakers already vexed by revelations about the document's high costs. In Kinshasa, travel agents say they are scrambling to help their customers, many of which will be stranded abroad if the ban comes into effect on October 16th.
I wonder what's going to happen to those who are already outside the country and who will be coming back in October 16th. For example, those who travel to the US and who will be traveling back via Belgium or France after October the 16th. We don't know what's going to happen.
Even though Democratic Republic of Congo sits near the bottom of the UN Human Development Index, the passports it introduced in 2015 are among the world's most expensive. The government says from October 16, citizens will no longer be able to use non-biometric passports, some of which are not due to expire until 2020. And those who tried to would have their documents confiscated and replaced with a photocopy. In Kinshasa, the decision continues to make headlines, with Congolese citizens expressing their displeasure.
We are all being penalized because we have a passport that we bought 2 years ago, a passport that is still valid until 2020. But today they are telling us that our passports are invalid, and that scares us because it's costly. And now we have to find money to buy a new passport while we already have one that is valid.
Economic analysts such as Ali Kentege called the decision knee-jerk, saying the outcry over the ban and the logistics may force the government to postpone the exercise.
I don't think these passports will become invalid, and I can bet that the government will have to postpone this nonsensical decision, which has created a lot of debate. But if it's compulsory for those who have to travel to get the new passport, then it will cost them a lot, and they'll be forced to spend a lot to acquire a new passport.
The abrupt ban taps into a climate of political instability fed by militia violence since President Joseph Kabila last December refused to step down at the end of his mandate. Reports in the Congolese media and by activist groups about the wealth Kabila has accrued over his 16 years in power have also stoked resentment.
Sudanese President Omar al-Bashir has complained about what he calls the immense hardship the U.S. trade embargo has placed on his people. Mr. Bashir says the unjust sanctions imposed on the country since 1997 have primarily weakened the state and its institutions, causing hardship to the Sudanese people. His comments come just 2 weeks before U.S. President Donald Trump is due to decide whether to keep the embargo imposed 2 decades ago because of Khartoum's alleged support for militant Islamist groups. Donald Trump's predecessor, Barack Obama, eased the sanctions in January, announcing a 6-month review, which was extended by Mr. Trump in July. On Sunday, Mr. Trump removed Sudan from a list of countries facing the U.S. travel ban. Police in Zimbabwe's second city, Bulawayo, have raided illegal foreign currency changes in what they call a major crackdown on illegal dealings in the country. Local media reports that scores were arrested, but they were fewer than usual after dealers who were popularly known as Osifa Teleni in place. A police spokesperson, Precious Simango, says the raids would continue, and she urges the public not to buy cash on the streets. In Zimbabwe, there is currently no law against black market currency dealing, and most money changers get away with small fines or blocking the street. At least 3 people have been killed and many homes set ablaze after Islamist militants Boko Haram raided rural communities northeast of Nigeria. According to Mudugani Mani, an information officer for the Guzamala local government area, northern Borno State, the insurgents came in large numbers in trucks and on motorcycles, attacking Goram and 2 neighboring villages. A local official says 2 people were killed also when a convoy of vehicles hit landmines on the road from the Borno State capital, Maiduguri, to Dikwa. The trial of 6 men on cannibalism charges in South Africa has been postponed after a brief court appearance. The men who were arrested appeared in the Estcourt Magistrates Court in South Africa's eastern province of KwaZulu-Natal. 5 of the men have been behind bars since last month when they abandoned their bail application. They were arrested after they were found in possession of human flesh. The men, 2 of whom are traditional healers, were caught with body parts in their houses, including 8 ears in 1 pot. The case is to resume on the 12th of October. And still to come on Network Africa. Egypt's Cairo Comics Festival showcases a number of artists and their comic works of superheroes and fantasy. To join us again.